various perspectives on this particular topic. But then before we move to all of that, we'll turn our attention quickly to the currency and the commodities market and bring you updates. Well, currently, the dollar will be bought from you at 12 cedis 19 pesos, sold to you at 12 cedis 20 pesos. The pound will be bought from you at 16 cedis 58 pesos, sold to you at 16 cedis 60 pesos. The euro will be bought from you at 14 cedis 34 pesos, sold to you at 14 cedis 36 pesos. But be guided that these figures will be much higher as the forex bureau near you. On the global commodities front, the price of cocoa is up by some 2.35%, is selling at $7,594 per ton. Gold is up by just about 1%, trading at $3,681 per ounce. Crude oil is now at $67.34 per barrel, up by some 0.52%. Now to the T-bills front, the 91-day bill is going for 10.53%, 182-day bill going for 12.44%, and 364-day bill going for 12.95%. And those were basically updates from the Treasury bill front. We see all the other, apart from the 91-day bill, all the rest are selling slightly higher than in inflation rates. But every day, people face different emergencies: police emergency, fire emergency, medical emergency, you name it. But many Ghanaians don't know their emergency numbers. Well, here's one you would want to always remember: *770#. Yes, *770# is the new EcoBank Money emergency number. *770# gives you instant access to loans, fund transfers, utility payments, airtime and data purchases, and so much more, even without data. So there's no need to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. EcoBank will always come to your rescue. Dial *770# now for solutions to your money emergencies. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank and proud sponsors of Business Focus, as well as Telecel. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll delve into the conversation for today. Please stay tuned.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Media Journal invites you to the National Thought Leader
the cost of their tariffs. And this has sparked a lot of conversation and controversy amongst industry players and various stakeholders alike. So we'll take a quick look at the proposals that some of these utility service providers made and their justification for that increment.
The last major tariff review was in 2022.
We need to keep the lights on. We need to ensure that we have electricity for industry, for the economy to run, for domestic use, for consumers to be comfortable, and it needs a lot of work. The quality of service is key, but we have a very difficult work to do. Taking the balance between ensuring that the service is of good quality and also ensuring that the utility is financially viable.
For the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, major investment in ensuring power reliability justifies a 225% increment. The proposed increment in the distribution service charge is from the current 19.0875 pesos per kilowatt hour to 61.8028 pesos per kilowatt hour. Should the proposal be approved, 3 million smart meters will be deployed for replacement and new service connections. In other proposals, ECG expects PLC to collapse tariff bands, 2 bands for residential and flat rate for non-residential. In tariff determination, the power provider wants the Commission to adopt Bank of Ghana's exchange rate.
If you take our books of accounts, you will realize that the generation cost alone and the sales, ECG is into loss. In other words, the generation cost of ECG is even higher than the sales that we make. All we are requesting the regulator to do is to ensure that the generation cost is a pass-through cost in full.
Activities of illegal mining, popularly referred to as galamsey, have adversely impacted on operations of Great Coal. Transmission lines have been damaged and the near collapse of some towers. The proposed 135% increment will ensure these machinery are fixed and some 30 critical projects undertaken to enhance service reliability. Ghana Water Company Limited is requesting regulatory approval to raise tariffs from 5 cedis 28 pesos to 20 cedis 09 pesos per cubic meter, a 281% increment, citing rising operational cost. Water River Authority VRA, on the other hand, is proposing a 59% increment. Ghana Gas 97%. The proposals cite rising inflation, foreign exchange volatility, interest rates, and the need for full recovery of investment costs as the main drivers. According to the Commission, these are only proposals and will be subjected to public scrutiny and analysis before final decisions are announced.
In the coming weeks, the Commission will roll out regional public hearings to provide consumers with the opportunity to engage directly with utility companies. These hearings will allow utilities to explain and justify their tariff proposals in simple yet relatable terms. It will achieve the intended impact if the narratives are effectively carried and amplified by recognized communication officials and the media at large.
The final decision is expected to be taken in November and implementation to take effect from January 2026.
So that report was by my colleague George, basically bringing us up to speed with some of the proposals that some of these utility service providers have been making and why they think that the tariff should go up. ECG wants as much as 225% increase in their tariffs. And it's interesting that the IMF seems to support all of this because the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has expressed support for Ghana's proposed utility tariff review, stressing that adjustments, if approved, could help end inefficiencies in the energy sector, attract private investment, and address the growing debt burden. The remarks comes as the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission continues engagements on possible increases set to take effect from October 1, 2025. Take a listen.
The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has endorsed Ghana's proposed review of electricity and utility tariffs. According to the IMF's Director of Communications, Julie Kozak, the planned adjustments would be critical to addressing long-standing inefficiencies in the power sector, encouraging private sector investment, and helping clear mounting arrears that continue to weigh down the industry. Speaking at a press briefing in Washington, D.C., she added that the IMF also supports broader energy sector reforms, including private sector participation in the operations of the Electricity Company of Ghana. She explained that These reforms form part of a wider strategy to strengthen state-owned enterprises and reduce fiscal risks. The comments come as the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission (PURC) engages stakeholders over tariff proposals from utility companies. The Electricity Company of Ghana has requested more than a 200% hike, though sources close to the commission say such a steep adjustment is unlikely to be approved. While some economists caution that any significant increases could fuel inflation and raise the cost of living, the IMF has also praised Ghana for progress under its $3 billion program, highlighting gains in financial management, growth performance, and macroeconomic stability.
So basically, that was the IMF reacting to calls for a review of the utility tariffs. And they say that if we are able to carry this out, it will help address the inefficiencies and also attract the necessary adjustments, or basically private sector investment to address the issues in the energy sector. Joining us today to discuss the conversation proper is Reverend John Awuni. He is the chairman of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, FABAG. Dr. Eric Boakye-Yadom is also a senior lecturer at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, UPSA. He also works with the Africa Policy Lens. He's a senior policy expert there. We have David Amoateng, president of the Traders Advocacy Group, Ghana, TAG. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. I'll start off with you, Reverend Awuni. How do you feel about this issue about over 200% increase in utility tariffs? How does it sit with you as beverage manufacturers?
We clearly feel that this is very uncalled for. If it happens, it will hit the economy and hit the economy so hard. It will set up inflation, a wild inflationary pressure on the country. Kinky prices will go up. Water prices, sachet water prices will go up. The price of bread will go up. The price of the beverages and general food will go up, that the economy cannot contain. If it also happens, then the goodwill that the Mahama government is enjoying will easily be eroded. Because indeed, one of the reasons why we voted the Akufo-Addo government out was that they kept on bringing one tax after the other, increasing tariffs to the extent that utilities were clearly unbearable in the business sector, even in the residential areas. And so we voted this government out with the call of His Excellency John Mahama, a presidential candidate, then that let us give them chance so that they can zoom office and then reset the country. Now, if you say you want to reset the country and then you come in and you are coming in with another tariffs, how different are you from the Akufo-Addo government? I think that the call for the increase in the tariffs of the utilities provides the clearest opportunity for the government and for His Excellency the President to get into the utilities, clean up that utility sector, get rid of them, of the massive corruption, the massive inefficiency, the systemic losses, the poor workers' attitude, the corruption in terms of inflation of contracts, and the like. We all have stories cut across the entire country about the utilities. The utilities, in fact, indeed, most of the workers have literally privatized their decks. They don't care about whether meters are working or meters are not working. We have people who connect their homes, who have built new homes, and those homes have no meters. Utilities people come and connect just without a meter and leave them. We have prepaid meters which are providing power without reading the reading. We have postpaid meters doing the same thing. We think that the call by the utilities to increase tariffs and even supported by IMF doesn't sound well at all. Because indeed, if tariff increment year by year makes any sense, then the utilities should have been efficient by now. We have been increasing tariffs up year after year, government after government, from His Excellency President Kufuor to His Excellency the late President Atta Mills to His Excellency President John Mahama to Nana Akufo-Addo, and then again to His President Mahama. What has happened? How come the utilities are not efficient? So for the IMF and then the utilities call for tariff increment that when it comes, it will be efficient. It's just like repeating the same old story. They have always blackmailed the governments and have always blackmailed the the citizens that if you don't pay higher utility tariffs, as if we are not even paying higher utility tariffs, or for that matter, if you don't increase the tariffs, then cannot keep the lights on. What is power security? Power security is not only power being available, but being accessible, affordable to the people. Same thing as food security. Power is a necessity. Power is the lifeblood, is the foundation cause of every production system, is the lifeblood of every production system. So you cannot keep on increasing tariffs, and then the workers, and then not just the workers are behaving in a way that doesn't promote efficiency. There are serious inefficiencies in the electricity sector and the water sector, the general utility sector need to be cleaned up. And that's the biggest legacy His Excellency the President can leave for Ghanaians in this his second term, rather than increasing tariffs. If they increase tariffs, then they are no different from the Akufo-Addo government in the area of energy. So we think that the current call is uncalled for. What is necessary is that a commission or a system should be set up to look into the utility, look into their faces, and let them know that we must clean them up, we must reset them, we must align them. Then we can know whether let tariffs go up or tariffs go down. And indeed, if we clean the utilities up, I am very, very convinced that tariffs will go down.
Interesting. David Amoating, with President of Traders Advocacy Group Ghana. I don't know if you agree with Reverend, or for you, quality must come or availability must come at a cost.
Michael, let me say good evening to your cherished viewers, and let me greet my senior brother, John. And I fully associate myself with every word that has proceeded out of his mouth. And he has nailed it, as if he was even in my mind. Look at the point I've jotted down. You see, when you come to power and you want to be praised by IMF, then I think I'm sorry. Maybe you are fed up with the power that you got. Michael, as we speak now, industry players, factories, manufacturers, the problem that they are going through. And let me ask, had there been ever, you check from 2010 to date, Michael, I'm giving you a homework, an assignment. Check all the press release by this PURC. Every day, you see, I move into where I'm staying now. It's been 14 years now. And these 14 years that I have been there, we only get water on Thursdays, every Thursday. But whenever they want an increment, they will go by this line for us to improve. Improve on what?
But David, some will argue that the point that you are making actually justifies why they need to increase it, so that they can have enough resources to supply you water beyond once a week to as regularly as you'd want it. Don't you agree?
That is why I did not tell you to even start from 2020. I said 2010. That has been the announcement. That has been the justification. We want to serve you better. Where you are, Michael, are you receiving better services when it comes to electricity and water? Open the phone lines and let Ghanaians say that they are receiving better services. For 14 years, I've been at a place, I only get water only on Thursdays. Do you want to tell me there has never been increment since the last 14 years? The answer is a big no. So you see, nobody is saying that if maybe the cost of producing water or electricity, if it has gone up, there shouldn't be any price adjustment. We are business people. We do agree with them, but not this time, where they are not giving us that quality service that they promise us. And this is not the time for increment. You see, Michael, let's be truthful to ourselves. There are a lot of places in Accra here. Those places are no-go area for electricity company of Ghana. They should be sincere with us. They cannot go there either to do disconnection or to even build them, let alone them taking their money. All the panel members on this program, they know what I'm talking about. And our viewers who have tuned in, they know what I'm talking about. So why is it that always it is the few people who are paying, who are loyal, who are gentle, that we are keeping this base on? A time will come, okay? A time will come. Nobody. The taxes will be too much such that the production companies, the manufacturing companies, the factories, they will fold up.
That is not what we are praying for, but your point is well noted. Let me speak to Dr. Eric Boakye-Adom, Senior Lecturer, Financial Economist at the University of Professional Studies. Doc, thank you so much for your time. First of all, do you even agree with the IMF's posturing with regards to all of this? The fact that they say that this will help address the inefficiencies and attract the needed private investment to turn the fortunes around of the utility companies?
And good evening to your viewers and my co-panelists. And I think that we need to be able to balance tariff adjustment with inefficiency, which I agree with the IMF in part. However, to increase tariff by over 200% I think, was on the stretch. That would defeat and even throw the government monetary policy agenda off balance. So if the utility company says that they want to address inefficiency, I think number one inefficiency which we can easily address is the administration and the services that they are providing. You see, in our neighborhood, there can be a pipe burst for days, and the water company will not even come and attend to it. There are a lot of people who are using ECG and they are not paying their corporate power bill. You know, have they been able to implement a system to track those who are using utilities and they are not paying for it? Until we do that, we will always come to the point where we will wake up and we want to increase utility over 200%. How many people can afford, you know, and how many businesses can afford a utility increment at that level? So in as much as the IMF may be looking at the long-term survival of these utility companies, we have to balance with what is realistic in our case. IMF will always make a recommendation, but look at in your best case or in your situation, what is ideal. I think that there should be an investment in technology to be able to track inefficiencies. Almost every new government comes and there's a meter change. We have changed meter in Ghana, you know, on several occasions, but the problem seems not to go. It means that it's not about the meter, it's about the people behind the meter, the people who are working with those equipment that we are procuring. So we need to be able to demand answers and some accountability from the management, and we have to increase their KPI for them to be up and doing in terms of the ability to track and trace inefficiencies, and those especially within the transmission line, whether with power, whether with Ghana Water, those on the line, that in case there's a leakage, there's a fault, it is easily detected. You see, if everything is based on somebody alerting you, or the community should call ECG, the community should call Ghana Water to prompt them about water leakage. It's not always that they will be patriotic enough to do. We need to have internal mechanism to detect, and we must be very proactive and responsive, you know, in addressing some of these cases. And that even the 200, I'm not sure it is even adequate to keep them running at a very appropriate level. Yes, government should also see that supporting some of these institutions, it is his responsibility, or it is his way of supporting industries. Industries in Ghana mostly run on government power. Few of them may run on their thermal, or their plants powered by diesel or petrol. So if their utility bill goes up that much, it means that it will come back affecting productivity and production in the country. So the government should think through properly before accepting these proposals from the IMF.
Okay, Mr. Oni, let me come to you now. If you look at this government's posturing, especially with all that we've heard, especially at the start of this government, about ECG and the rot over there. And 9 months down the lane, we haven't seen much happen, especially with the ECG case. Do you think they are committed enough or serious enough about really addressing the leakages and the rots with a lot of these utility companies?
I don't see that. I am quite disappointed because I think that you don't need more than 3 months to be able to get things corrected in that system. You don't need more than 3 months to do that. And clearly, a government that has come in with such massive goodwill, with a whole understanding that you are going to reset, if there can't be any better sector to reset than the power sector, which is the lifeblood of the production system of this country. If the private sector would do well, then utilities have to be available, not only available, but affordable. The reason why 1001 boosts come in from China and all over the world, and yet they are still cheaper in this country than the one produced just behind our backyard, is the cost of production. Production cost is extremely high, and I think that if the government really wanted to really push and give meaning to their 24-hour economy, then the power sector is something that they should have dealt with and dealt with seriously. Get that thing completely corrected. They will have 1001 government institutions who owe ECG millions of cedis. We all have heard about that. Yet, are these institutions not collecting money for services they render? How come they cannot pay the electricity that they provide? There are 1001, there are so many people all over. I know of houses and friends of their houses, they have used power 2-3 years, following for people to bring meters, they will never bring the meters. I think that the governments have a big opportunity. And I want to repeat again that His Excellency the President must look into the face of the utilities and say that it is not time for us to, let's put aside the whole discussion of tariff increment, but give the minister an assignment that I want you to clean up this sector, realign this sector, reset this sector, and then on the path of efficiency. You see, it is very baffling to find out that a monopoly or a company that is a monopoly for that matter can keep on running at losses. Who is competing with ECG? You see, if you have ECG's workers with that level of attitude, everybody has gone in there and privatized his or her debt, and anytime they have a very good managing director who wants to clean up the system, then they lay siege and make noise and all that to get him out. Then the people have privatized the company themselves. And the government has an opportunity to make sure that this particular thing, today is the last, this time round should be the first and the last for that matter of tariff increment. Like my colleague, the professor said, if you increase tariffs by 1,000% tomorrow without correcting the inefficiencies, those tariffs cannot come and fix faulty meters by itself. Because the workers themselves will continue to inflate contracts. Where a cable is supposed to be 300 series, they will say it is 900 series. Where a transformer is 10,000, they will say it's 30,000. So until we get all that, tariff increment cannot change the attitude of the workers. When every new officer in the ECG wants to build a house of his or her own, they will not install a meter for you if you don't bribe them. Can tariff increase that? You see, as for the IMF, I am a student of development economics. I want any professor to come out and tell me where IMF have entered in the world, or as a matter of fact in Africa, and has changed the economy of that Africa. They have not succeeded in doing that. So they shouldn't come and pretend to know the economy of the country more than us. We know our economy. We know what will trigger development and what will not trigger development. The fact that we have borrowed their money does not mean that they should have to, well, the Bible says that the borrower is a slave to the lender. Well, they can come and then tell us, but I think that we know our economy much more better. And tariff increment is not the way right now. PURC must stand on their grounds. The general public of Ghana, the business community, and all of us must stand on our ground. We are not against tariff increment. Okay. We are not against cost-reflective tariff increment. We are against unfair tariff adjustment. And this tariff, if it is increased, that means that the NDC government is encouraging impunity. It's encouraging corruption. It's encouraging inefficiency. It's encouraging the complete rot that is happening in the utilities. You can look, a pipe will burst, you call them, they won't mind you. Why will I have to pay you to come and join a pipe so that the water can run well and then you can get money to be paid as for salaries? I think that clearly we are on a good course. We are not against the government. We are not against it. We are saying that we must fix this particular necessity once and for all, rather than burying our heads like ostriches in the name of increasing tariffs that it will bring efficiency. It will bring efficiency over 2 decades. This is the same story, and then it has never corrected the system. The correction of the system is to set up a body so that everybody can come out and then speak, and we can all chart a new path for the utilities.
All right. I think you need to drink some water at this point. You're all fired up. I like the way you put in the scriptures there to make your point. Reverend. We'll go for a quick break. This is Business Focus here on TV3. But before we go, every day people face different emergencies. Police emergency, fire emergency, medical emergency, you name it. But many Ghanaians don't know their emergency numbers. Well, here's one you'd want to remember. *770#. Yes, *770# is the new EcoBank Money emergency number. *770# gives you instant access to loans, fund transfers, utility payments, airtime and data purchases, and so much more, even without data. So there's no need to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. EcoBank will always come to your rescue. Dial *770# now for solutions to your money emergencies. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank, and proud sponsors of Business Focus as well as Telesa. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is Business Focus here. Business Focus is sponsored by EcoBank and Telecel. We're on the streets of Accra to pick the thoughts of the ordinary Ghanaian on what they make of this proposal of an increment in utility tariffs. Well, this is what they had to say.
I think they shouldn't increase it. It really affects me, seriously, because for some of us, we don't earn much like that. So if there should be another increment, it really affects us. We are pleading that if they will do something about it, then it should not be too much, like some 5%.
There's tariff hikes in ECG and then water bill. We are also pleading that they should increase our salaries so that it will offset that.
About the increment in water tariff and electricity tariffs, I believe it is inappropriate. The services they are giving us is not up to standard. And increment will go further to disrupt our financial income. Already we are suffering in the system already. Our financial salaries are not meeting our daily demands. However, the water services they are giving us for about 1 week now, we don't have water supply in our pipes. So what are they going to do with the money that they are requesting for? Each time they increase, we don't get any better service for the increment they receive. At least there should be slight improvement in whatever they are getting, but we don't see it. And they are also not managing the waste in the system. When the pipe is burst in the area, you will call them, they don't attend to it. And that water, that wastage that we are talking about is the one that is flowing where we cannot account for. So if they manage their waste, I believe they can get money to also support their services that they render to us.
So those were some Ghanaians expressing their disapproval and dissatisfaction with the proposal for an increase in utility tariff. For a lot of them, the question is, how much quality am I getting even at the rate I'm paying? And what's the guarantee that if you increase it, the service delivery would improve in any way? But let me come to you, Dr. Egboache-Adam, on this particular matter. Now we are in a dilemma. The service providers say they need the money to improve the quality of the service. The consumer says, I'm not ready to pay more because I haven't been given value. Where really do we start from in balancing this to figure it all out?
I think, Michael, we need to check the ECG, their report, PRC, their report they've made on these utility companies. In somewhere 2024, the ECG alluded that about 27.05% of the power that they get does not reach the homes or they are not accounted for. So if we are selling, let's say, something which constitutes about 100 cedis and 27 cedis you can't account or you do not get money for, then you come back to say that because I cannot get money for the 27 cedis, I want those who have already paid to pay it so that I can keep working. You come to the Ghana Water Company, their 2020-2021 report, it shows that the average losses on a revenue that they do not receive, although the volumes of water has been generated, is between 46 to, in some cases, about 52%. These huge losses, you are coming back to say that those who are already paying, we should burden them to pay, for those losses. I don't think it is fair. In as much as that we want you to continue to produce power, to produce water for us, I think you need to be able to, these utility companies must be tasked to ensure that the losses are cut, and they should be given a certain target. That cut your losses to 10% for this year, or cut it to 5%. Let's give them a realistic target. If we're able to cut it, then we will be able to increase the rate, so that we'll know that some efforts are being made in addressing the existing challenge. One of the issues that Ghana Water Company talk about is the galamsey activities that is affecting their water or their pipelines. Yes, it is a very difficult situation, but is there a way that they can go into an agreement with the river bodies and those guards that were launched by the president to protect our forest zone? Can we also put in some measures to monitor. You know, in Nigeria, they use drones to patrol their petroleum pipelines. The NNPCs use drones to do it. Can we employ a technology to patrol those pipelines so that in case there's galamsey or any other activity, whether road construction, cause a pipe to burst, we can quickly address it and will not come back, record huge losses, and ask consumers who are already burdened to pay. It will interest you to know that companies are spending sometimes about 2 to 5% of their cost of goods or the cost of running their business on these utilities, and to make it go up again, I think is too high. So we should focus. Every report that is issued by the PURC and the companies themselves shows that the losses keep going up. And if it cannot address the losses, I don't think we have enough rooms or justification to levy more tariff on already burdened consumers. So
some very interesting submissions over there. Give them targets. If they meet it, then there's enough justification to increase the tariffs. But interesting point. We'll move now to our second topic, the issue of the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana, where they are currently meeting. Now, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, has given fresh assurance about the strength of the Ghana cedi, highlighting that the currency has appreciated by about 21% so far this year, despite ongoing challenges from seasonal trade-related foreign exchange demand and a slowdown in remittances inflows. Opening the 126th Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Accra, Dr. Esiama attributed the cedi's resilience to prudent monetary policy, stronger reserves, and tighter enforcement of foreign exchange regulations, while urging businesses and households to maintain confidence in the local currency.
Despite seasonal pressures and a moderation in remittance inflows in recent weeks, the cedi remains among the strongest currencies globally year to date, appreciating by about 21% as of September 12th. The cedi now ranks alongside high performers such as the Russian ruble, the Swedish krona, the Norwegian krone, the Swiss franc, the euro, and the British pound. This outperformance reflects prudent monetary policy. It also reflects effective liquidity management at the central bank. It reflects fiscal consolidation, and it also reflects increased foreign exchange inflows.
So that was basically the Governor of the Bank of Ghana opening the 126th Monetary Policy Committee meeting to determine the next policy rate for the country for the next 2 months. David Amati, I'll come to you, President of TAG. You were happy about the 300 basis points cut from 28 to 25%. A new meeting is ongoing as we speak. How low do you think the rate should go this time, or should it be maintained?
Well, Michael, thank you. Every businessman will go for the first one. It shouldn't be maintained. It should further come down. Because if all of us, as Africans, we are trading in one marketplace, that is the AFTA, of which we are hosting. And somebody in Abidjan, it takes a facility and paying interest rate of 7.5. And here I am in Ghana, the least that you can get, 20%. You agree with me, it's on the high side. And it's difficult for a Ghanaian businessman or a woman to expand under our current dispensation, of which we believe that it should further come down. And the good job that the governor is doing, I believe that the head of banking supervision will complement the good work that the governor is doing by engaging the commercial banks, impressing upon them to reduce their interest rates, because it makes business difficult. Somebody is bringing his or a product from South Africa, from Kenya, from Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire. They are all coming to sell it here.
Okay, but David,
they are getting facilities
for you as traders,
they are getting a cheaper.
David, for you as traders, you are always talking about high cost of doing business. When the CD appreciated against the US dollar, you said you needed 3 months before you start reducing your prices. What difference really would this make for the average consumer if the policy rate goes down?
No, that is not what we said. If you listen to me carefully and all my interviews that I did, I told you that we have 2 types of importers. One importer, they are those people, the first one, they are those people that get 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or 120 days of credit. And there are those that they will go for facility, go and bring their staffs. I belong to the first one. And everybody that I do business with will testify.
Okay.
I have message that I can send it to you so that you put it on the screen.
All right.
As soon as the CD started appreciating, I reduced my products.
Okay.
And I sent messages to all my distributors.
Okay.
Because I enjoy 120 days of credit. So as soon as the dollar started coming down, I have to. I have no other option.
Fair point.
But we were telling our good citizens that they should hold on. If we impress or if we argue that all imports, everybody that engages in importation should reduce their product, we will not be fair to those that go for facility before they bring their stuff.
That's fine. Point well noted. Point well noted. Reverend Awuni, for you as manufacturers as well, how much of a difference will a policy rate cut again going to be for you as producers?
It will make a very huge impact because as it is now, if the interest rate goes down, then it means that it will also affect the cost of production because most business people don't use their own money. They borrow to operate.
Okay.
If they borrow at higher interest, if they borrow at a higher interest rate, what it means is that the cost of production is going to be high, and the final price of the product is also going to be very high in the market.
Okay.
As I speak now,
So realistically, what rate would work for you now? We've seen drop from 28 to 25. What rate are you expecting this next meeting, ideally?
Well, the business, look at other jurisdictions. Look at other jurisdictions. So we have interest rates even somewhere 3%, 5%, and all that. So there's a lot of work to be done. And it has to be very realistic. It is not about somebody saying that I prefer this or that.
So what is your realistic right now?
That as we speak right now.
What is your realistic?
Well, for realistic, if you go down to 20% is not bad.
Fair point.
Now.
500 basis points cuts. Okay.
20% is...
All right.
It's not
interestingly, Dr. Eric Boakye Adom has consistently called for it to drop to as low as 20%. So maybe, I guess he agrees with you. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be all for today's edition of Business Focus here on TV3. For more business stories, please visit our website. It's 3news.com/business. A big thank you to my guest, David Amwatin, President of TAG Traders Advocacy Group Ghana, FABAC Chairman, Reverend John Awuni, as well as Dr. Eric Boakye Adom, Senior Lecturer at the University of Professional Studies. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you same time next week. As always, please stay safe.
Business Focus is brought to you